Hey guys, I'm back this week with another real-time recipe for you, and this time we're making one of my favorite weeknight meals for the summertime, and that's my chicken lettuce wraps. I love this recipe because it's quick, it's easy and healthy, and it comes together in 15 minutes or less, starting now. So the first thing I want to do is take you on a tour of the sauces that we have here. Now at first glance you might be thinking, Beth, that looks like a lot of condiments. I don't want to go out and spend a fortune for this recipe, but the thing is A, I bet you have more than one of these sauces in your pantry already, and B, all of these are really pretty inexpensive. You can get basically everything you see here for under $10. That way, if you have all these ingredients in your pantry, you only need to stop off at the market for the fresh ingredients. So I stock up on all of these at the beginning of the month, and then I can make this recipe at least 5 or 6 times before I run low on any of them. So they are as follows. We have our soy sauce, rice wine vinegar, a little bit of sweet chili sauce, red pepper flakes, and Chinese mustard. Now, if you didn't want to go out and buy Chinese mustard, you could just use regular Dijon mustard. That would work too. Okay, so the first thing we're gonna do is get our pan going, and we're going to add just some lightly flavored oil. I'm using sesame oil, but really anything would work. And then we're gonna take our mushrooms. So I have about a cup of sliced mushrooms here, and that's another time-saving tip. If you have the choice at the market, get the mushrooms that are already sliced. Saves a ton of time. Okay, so we're just gonna give them a rough chop. Now, I will say this is not a traditional Chinese lettuce wrap recipe. I am sure all of our Chinese viewers that are watching this might be questioning my technique here, but it's really the quickest recipe I know, and that's what we're after. So it's sort of my Chinese lettuce wrap version. So forgive me if it's not totally authentic. Okay, so the idea is you just wanna chop the mushrooms so that they're in roughly tiny pieces. It's really good with this recipe if everything you chop that goes into it is roughly the same size. It'll just make it easier to eat. And don't worry about getting it all exact. The mushrooms will shrink down as they cook. So we're then going to put these in the pan, like that, and 2. There we go. And stir those around. Another reason why I like this recipe is that you can multitask. So while these mushrooms are cooking, we're gonna get on with making the sauce. So the sauce is really pretty easy. All we're gonna do is we're gonna put together some soy sauce. Now, let's see. Now you could use the low sodium soy if you were looking for something that's a little bit healthier. So you're gonna do 6. 1, 2, 3. The idea is just to use equal parts soy and vinegar. So sometimes when I'm really in a rush, I don't even measure it out. I just eyeball it. And once you make this dish enough, you'll probably be able to do that too. And then we're gonna take our rice wine vinegar, which is just a really nice Asian style vinegar. Okay, well, that's probably good there. And give that a stir. And then we're going to add some of this. This is the sweet chili sauce. I get mine at Trader Joe's and I really love it. It is like my most favorite condiment. I'll use it as a dipping sauce for little appetizers sometimes, or with pot stickers. It's just really nice in marinades too. It's gonna give our dipping sauce a nice sweetness. Okay, and this is the thing I also like about this recipe, is we're gonna make this sauce for our chicken, but it's also gonna be our dipping sauce. So that way we don't have to stop down and make an additional dipping sauce. For a weeknight meal, we have to be quick and easy, right? Okay, so we've got that. Then we're going to take a little bit of heat and we're going to add some red pepper flakes. I do about 1/4 teaspoon, but if you like it spicier, by all means, you can add more. And then a little bit of the mustard, about 1/2 teaspoon. I really love this Chinese mustard. I mean, normally I have lots of Dijon mustard at our house, but for an extra $1.19, I think is what this costs, I love to just have it in the repertoire. It's just a little bit stronger than Dijon and really packs a punch. Okay, and we're just gonna stir that up. The idea is you wanna make sure that all that mustard is well incorporated, because you can imagine chomping down on a bit of that. Okay, and at this point our mushrooms are done. You see what they look like? They're releasing their juices. This is what you want. And now we are gonna add our chicken. So I love to buy ground chicken for this recipe because then you don't have any chicken to chop. Again, another great time-saving device. All right, so in it goes. I also will buy the dark meat chicken because I find that it doesn't dry out as much as the white meat chicken would do. It's also sometimes a little bit cheaper, which is nice too. Okay, See, and if your chicken looks a little dry like this is, you can also add a little bit more oil. I think I let the mushrooms go a little bit too far. Okay, I'm busy chatting. Okay, here we go. So that is looking pretty good. So we're just gonna let that sit there and hang out and cook while we finish the rest of our sauce. So the next part with our sauce, let's just clean this up a bit so I'm not making a total mess. Okay, is to add some garlic. So I am a big fan of fresh. You know me, fresh is best. But if you only had garlic powder, you could do that. I find though that the fresh ingredients, like the fresh garlic and the fresh ginger, as opposed to the powder, just really is more flavorful. And sometimes those powders can just feel a little processed to me. So I always like to have the fresh ingredients whenever I can. Okay. Then we're going to take our garlic press. Again, another time-saving device. I love a garlic press because look at that. Beautifully minced garlic, and we don't need to do any chopping. A lot of you have asked me about this garlic press in the comments. It's really one of my favorite kitchen tools. That you've asked me about what the brand is, and I think it's called Roselle, excuse me if I'm not pronouncing it right. But I do love it because it's really heavy, and that is the secret to a good garlic press. And you wanna make sure it's nice and heavy so that you get a very strong press. Okay, then, it's great, I put it in the dishwasher and everything. I'll put a link in the description, so if you guys wanna get one, you'll know where to get it. Okay, so then we're gonna mix that up. And then the next thing we're gonna add is some ginger. I'm gonna go ahead and just cut the skin off, like that. And then we are going to grate it. So you're looking for probably 2 teaspoons or so. I love the ginger in this recipe. It makes it so fresh and so delicious. And then we wanna just keep an eye on our chicken here. Let's see. So you have to be a good multitasker if you wanna have dinner center quick. And now it's very quiet and peaceful here in my kitchen. It's just me and my talented crew. Normally I have 2 children that are jumping all over me. We're doing homework at the same time. We're packing lunches, and it's completely chaotic. And this recipe does hold up to all that. So that's the thing. The real-time recipes, they only make it to you guys if it stands the test of family chaos, okay? So another thing you could do is get the sauce all ready to go before you head off to school or work. And then when you come home, you don't have any of this measuring to do with the sauces. You're all ready to go. So that would be another way to save time. Okay. There, that's looking good. Just want to make sure that that's well cooked. Okay, so while that's doing that, we're going to finish our ginger here. Ooh, ah! Oh my God. You never know what's going to happen on these real-time recipes. Oopsie. Okay, it's just as good, don't worry. All right, so you get to see all my little flubs, missteps, it's okay. We're on pursuit of a quick and easy recipe, so that's what's most important. Okay, that's probably about good. And then if your microplane sticks, you can just tap it, and that will release the rest of the ginger. Okay, so our sauce is ready, and the next thing we're gonna do is chop some additional vegetables. So the other thing that's gonna go into this are some beautiful chopped scallions. So we know them here as scallions, but you may also know them as green onions. So they look like this, whatever you know them as in your country. That's what we're gonna use. So we're just gonna slice them off, and then we're gonna thinly slice. Now, we're gonna use both the white parts and the green parts. I tell ya, I really don't like those recipes that just say use the white parts or the green parts, because then what are you supposed to do to the other half? So this way there's no waste. We're gonna use it all. It's all going in. It's all delicious and fresh, and just gives you a nice bit of crunch as well. Okay, there we go. So we're gonna pop those in. Our chicken is looking good. Okay, now at this point, because our chicken is done, we're going to want to use a different spoon to stir it. We don't want to use the same spoon that was touching our raw chicken. All right, so that's actually looking pretty good. So once the chicken is done, if you still have some prep work to do, you can just lower the flame and just kind of keep it warm. Okay. The next thing we're gonna add are some water chestnuts. If you're not familiar with them, you get them in the Asian aisle of your grocery store, and they're usually packed in water and they come in a can like this. What's nice about them is they're gonna give our lettuce cups a nice crunch. So all you have to do is keep these in your pantry, again, with that collection of sauces, and then you always have this meal moments away. Okay, And then we're just gonna drain out the water. Make sure, get that all drained out, okay? And then we're gonna just give them a rough chop. So we kind of want to chop them like we did the mushrooms, just so it's roughly the same size as everything else we've got going on. There we go. And again, you know, they have, I think, a lot of fiber in them because they do fill you up. So it's nice to have something that fills you up but doesn't add a lot of calories. My husband loves this recipe too. This is one of his favorites, especially when you're trying to go easy on the carbs because it's just a lot of protein and veggies and there aren't any real carbs involved. Okay, and then we're gonna add our water chestnuts. I'm gonna give that a stir. And then the final step is just to add our sauce. So what I normally will do is add about half. And the reason is because we wanna reserve the other half for our dipping sauce. So just kind of add as much as you think you need, just so that all the chicken is coated. Remember, we have all that spice in there. We've got the mustard and the ginger and the garlic, and that soy sauce and the vinegar. It's gonna give this chicken great flavor. Okay, so I think that that's probably good, right? And this recipe makes enough to feed at least 2 or 3. I think it makes a good dinner if everybody gets maybe 3 lettuce cups, and that usually does it for us. So I have my lettuce here. I'm using a nice butterleaf lettuce. I love it because it creates little cups and it's a beautiful green. It just makes it so summery. So we're gonna add our dipping sauce in the center. And then we are just going to spoon out the chicken. So the chicken gets pretty hot, so I would recommend spooning it in. Rather than taking the lettuce cup in your hand, it's a little bit better if you actually take the chicken to the lettuce cup. And then that way you won't burn yourself. Okay, there. See, and then just turn it around. Now, this is if I'm putting together and I have the time, a nice little platter, but sometimes when I'm really in a rush, I will just make this, bring the pot to the table and pile up the lettuce leaves on a separate plate and let everybody serve themselves. That's even quicker. Okay, there. See, and dinner is ready. Now, you probably want to see how you actually eat these, and I think I am going to show you because it does get a little bit messy, but that is part of the fun. So the idea is to take it almost like a little taco, see? And then if you want to have a little dipping sauce, you can pour that on top, see, just like that. It's so delicious. Okay, going in. It's going to get messy. I apologize in advance. See, you just eat it like that. Mmm. Oh, that's so good. Really fresh, really flavorful, and really healthy. I hope you guys give this one a try and let me know what you think. I hope everybody's having a good summer, and I'll see you back here next week when we are going to kick off our back to school month. That's right, a whole month of back to school menus to get you guys ready for college or school or wherever the fall is taking you. I'll see you soon. Bye.